How can we produce tomatoes that people come to buy at a low price, and yet we still re-import tomato paste? How can we produce products like soy, sesame, and many other oil seeds? We export them, but we re-import oil. This system that we will call imperialist only enriches the small minority that we call the bourgeoisie and impoverishes the popular masses.
All right, welcome back again. In this speech, Ibrahim Traore talks about, he recalls about what Thomas Sankara said. We know he was not there, but he reads every time and understands what was the ambition, what was the intentions, and what did he wanted Africa to look like. And therefore, he is actually talking on Thomas Sankara. He told us, but he says many of us did not listen. And he refers to many other African politicians, African leaders who came up to try and stop the imperialism and the oppression that Africans were going through. But many people to some point did not understand him. Why and what did the white men do? What are the things that the imperialists do? They plot people. For example, you come out, you try to fight for your nation, or you try to fight for the revolution and liberation of your country or Africa, or for the black people. They plot you. They would call you a terrorist. They would call you a jihadist. They will give you all sort of names they want to give you. And that is what happened to Muammar Gaddafi, because he was plotted. And many people, some people, even some other black people thought he was a bad person. When I was growing up, I remember during the time of Muammar Gaddafi, when he was reigning, when I was growing up, I used to think Muammar Gaddafi was a terrorist. And even I can be able to tell all the people we were living in that age, in that age set at that time, we used to think he was a terrorist. It is until when we've grown up and we've begin understanding things is when we understand now he wasn't really a terrorist. Okay? And this is what Traore is saying, that we should support every leader who is coming up, trying to show out that he's fighting for the revolution of Africa, for the revolution of black people and all that. He is telling us we should put our hands together, we should join our hands together to make sure we are supporting them so much. Someone like Ibrahim Traore today, we are supposed to be the people who are supporting him. Whenever he tries to do anything, we are supposed to be the people who are supporting him so much. And every other person, talk about Assimi Goita, talk about Abdurrahmani Chiani, talk about Dr. Harikana, talk about PLO Lumumba, talk about Julius Malema, the people who are speaking out, to people who are showing interest of liberating Africa. We should be able to join hands together as black people, come together from diaspora, from Caribbean, from Africa in particular, and we support them. We support them. We show some love to them. We show some support to them so that they can be encouraged and continue fighting for the freedom and for the independence of Africa. Because Africa is not yet free, but we are looking forward to make it free. Now, he said that we should set standards as Africans. These people don't have a lot of things. They don't have gold. They don't have uranium. They don't have a lot of things. So many things like minerals and all these resources, they are expecting to get them from Africa. Okay? So this is the place they can come and extract this thing. They can harvest here in Africa, as they do every time. We know. We've witnessed. We've seen them doing it. So they do it all the times. They come to Africa, they take it away. Okay? And you see, when they take it away, they go there, they make whatever they want to make, they manufacture them from their countries, and then they begin selling them to us at a very high price. And at the end of the day, we are the same people who are producing these things. Okay? So what does Ibrahim Traore say? Ibrahim Traore said that we are supposed to set standards. Let us mine our own gold, keep it for ourselves, manufacture them our own, like ourselves. Let them come and buy. And we're not supposed to put a lower price to make them happy. Put the price as higher as you can. If they want to buy it, let them buy. If they don't want to buy it, let them stay. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones who need it. We have it already. We are harvesting it. Okay? We are mining them. So they need to take it from us. And not just take it from us anyhow. Because this is what they do always. They come to us, they pick anything, they take it away. And at the end of the day, they don't give us anything in return. So it is high time we should set standards. If you're mining gold, keep it for yourself, for your own country. Let it be a national reserve. Okay? If you're mining diatomite, if you're mining uranium, if you're mining diamonds, keep it for yourself. Let it be in your country. Let it be a resource for your own country, a national resource. Okay? If they want to take it, if they want to come for it, let them buy it. Put conditions. They should be able to align with those conditions for them to be able to get whatever they want to get. They shouldn't just get it anyhow, whenever they want. Okay? Using all sorts of power they want to use. No. It should never happen that way. That is number one. For example, he said they are now planting tomato. They are farming tomato. And this tomato, when they cannot be farming tomato and they keep on importing tomato paste at a very high price. They are importing tomato paste at very high prices. At the end of the day, they are still planting in their country tomato. What is the essence of them planting tomato in their country when and at the end of the day, eventually they come to import tomato paste at a very high price? It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. If you're planting tomato, if you're doing farming in tomato, what you're supposed to do is supposed to be the person who is exporting tomato at a very high price to the Western nations, not you importing from them tomato paste at a very high price. Because that is like, it's like, what do we call it? It's lack of sense. That is what he's trying to say. We are supposed to set standards. Let us be respected. Respect should be paramount. It's a two-way traffic, you know. You respect me, I respect you. You cannot be disrespecting me. You want me to respect you. It is something that can never happen. So the imperialists have been disrespecting Africans and black people for quite some time, because they feel like Africans are people who are maybe they're disabled, they're limited, something like that. I don't know. But we know they've been like looking like they're the bosses. So every time they speak, or rather every time they pull the strings, we dance the tune. And that is something we don't want to do. We want to set standards. We want them to look at us also as people who are respected. Okay? Whenever, at the moment we shall be able to set standards, they will begin respecting us, because we know they need a lot of things from us. For them needing a lot of things from us, it means they will do what we say. Okay? Because they will try to fight, we will fight back, they will find nothing else to do. At the end of the day, they will have to align with our rules and regulations. And the last thing, this is what he said, that these things we are doing, setting standards, coming up with factories and industries, raising the economy of the countries, of our nations as Africans and all that, we are creating opportunities for the youths who are unemployed. Let me tell you something. Having unemployed youths in your country, it's a very, very, very big blow. Because these youths, at the end of the day, are the same people who will begin. They will be used with these people to be able to perform the activities of terrorism and all that. Okay? Because these youths, when they are unemployed, they are idle. And as we all know, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So anytime they are approached with a little money, what do? They give in. When they give in, it becomes a very big problem. Okay? So we will set standards. We will get a lot of money. We will be able to create jobs and employments for these youths. After creating jobs and employment for these youths, we are simply saying that our youths will not be unemployed anymore. Okay? Then we shall have our youths in our country. You know very well that a country that is a grown country and a developed country is a country where our youths have something to do, because youths are the people who really contribute at large for the economy and for the progression and the advance of a nation. Okay, so we need to take care of them. We need to actually put them as the first priority. We can only be able to do that. We can only manage that if we are able to actually set standards. That is what he's saying. So without further ado, let's go after this video and then we see.
The late President, Captain Thomas Sankara, told us to dare to invent the future. This morning, we are gathered to write a new chapter of our history. A new chapter because we had been advised, but we didn't listen. Others dared, but we didn't support them. And we are restarting the machine once again this time. So, as our predecessors have said, We have noticed that the economic model imposed on us for the past few decades does not bear fruit. We thought that we couldn't be imposed a way to develop ourselves because those ways don't fit us at all with our vision, with our community, our society. I think that between you and me, our countries have spent time going into debt and never be able to again to finance ourselves, to invest in key areas, to the point that today, so we take out loans to pay off loans. How can we develop in this context? And it's normal that these institutions that lend us money don't want or wish for us to be able to get out of this. If I lend you money with interest, it's only normal that I do everything I can to make sure that money doesn't help you get rid of me. And so that poses a problem. So we also thought about it and asked ourselves a lot of questions. How can we have so many low points? Rich in land, and yet we continue to import, for example, rice. How can we produce tomatoes that people come to buy at a low price, and yet we still re-import tomato paste? How can we produce products like soy, sesame, and many other oil seeds? We export them, but we re-import oil. This system that we will call imperialist only enriches the small minority that we call the bourgeoisie and impoverishes the popular masses. So there is an imbalance that has gradually led us to what we know today as terrorism, a phenomenon created, invented, but one that has gained acceptance, and invented but which gained the support of a good part of the Burkinabe. Because having no choice due to poverty, they got involved. We believe that this new chapter that is unfolding and being written this morning should be able to address many problems that we know, whether it is youth employment or even this phenomenon of terrorism. I was saying earlier that the predecessors such as the Minister of the Economy of the city, Joseph Kizerbo, whether it be Sheikh Anta Diop or Sulama, all advocated what we call endogenous and inclusive development. But perhaps we did not understand the meaning of everything they were telling us. And later, the late President, Captain Thomas Sankara, told us to dare to invent the future. Perhaps we did not understand the message at the time. He further added, let us produce what we need. Let us transform it and consume what we produce. We believe that we have this capability and how to achieve it. We will not achieve it with a system that was imposed on us. So it was necessary to create, it was necessary to invent. While reading, we also saw in the political program of a prominent politician who is present here. In the room, I named Professor Laurent Fada, who spent his time reminding us that we needed to make endogenous development the lever of our economic foundation. Misunderstood, or I don't know how to qualify it. We decided to put into practice everything our predecessors advised us and that we did not want to. Perhaps listen, answer, or understand. That is why, in February, we decided to create the agency for the promotion of community entrepreneurship. This agency, the work it will do, the agency must join a work that the Ministry of Youth and Employment is also developing. If you have followed recently, we launched in FADA. The offices must be set up in our universities to try to redirect our students towards employment, training for employment. Here, this morning, we are here to make a call to all Burkinabés, whether they are on the territory or in the diaspora, to massively subscribe to this project. Because the future of Burkina, let's not dream, it will not come from elsewhere. It is we who must invent it. It is we who must create this future, maintain it, and make it our own. I therefore invite everyone to massively subscribe to allow us to create our businesses, to take ownership of our businesses. And by the way, I think that is how we will better maintain them. And who else would be able to work in these businesses but ourselves? That is why the Ministry of Youth is also striving to guide, because the reform that will follow, it is about reforming the system. When I was just listening to the clip, I heard you laugh at the student's comment. That means a lot of things. We need to channel people towards professional employment. These businesses, these factories, this mechanization of agriculture, there is no one better than us who can train ourselves in certain specific fields to maintain all the machinery that will be there to produce everything we need and to work in these businesses. So, that is why these two must go hand in hand. The project of the Ministry of Youth and APEC. The PEC has called upon a cooperative society that has proven itself, that has good experience in the field and with whom we have exchanged ideas, so that it can accompany and support in a patriotic effort for Burkina Faso to transition to a new economic model. And above all, I think that this initiative, as I was saying, is a lever to fight against terrorism. Because as long as young people are not employed, as long as they are idle, they will be subject to all temptation to take the easy way, to seek other solutions. And this can lead to major crime and the terrorism that we know. Therefore, it is about being able to employ as many young people as possible in production, in processing, and now in marketing. Because it is not up to us to import what we consume, but for Burkina to be able to export. The chosen fields are quite illustrative. It is therefore about producing, processing certain materials, and also exploiting our resources ourselves. Because this youth is hardworking. When we take a tour of the artisanal sites, we see them diving in the depths of the earth without safety equipment, without worry, in search of gold. We think we can mechanize the field, provide some improvement, and be able to produce our own gold ourselves. On this we will not be long. These are some examples, some explanations to show everyone who might be hesitant or those who haven't understood that we are going to subscribe massively. Kashi, we are going to take our destiny into account, because that's where this phrase makes perfect sense. And we will evolve towards a future. Farewell. And I am counting on all those, the Burkinabés from inside and outside, for a massive subscription, so that before the end of the year, new factories, new companies will spring up from the land for the benefit of all Burkinabés. The homeland or death, death.